Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on Tuesday, the 19th of September. As always, we bring you the news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. In the news tonight, El Nino is expected to maintain its grip on global weather patterns throughout the summer, with a 95% chance that it will dominate from January to March. Additionally, the chances of a strong El Nino occurring during the rainy season have recently increased by about 71%. This is according to the latest outlook status from the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, as of October 14th. This outlook status is a collaborative effort by NOAA's National Weather Service and supporting agencies. The Australian Bureau of Meteorology also declared in its latest ENSO El Nino Southern Oscillation outlook status from September 19th that an El Nino as well as a positive Indian Ocean dipole are on the way. The head forecaster of the Namibian Weather Office, Ondilo Khobetsi, told Republican that the seasonal forecast for Namibia will only be available from mid-October. Representatives of the Namibian Weather Service are currently attending the 27th annual Southern African Regional Climate Outlook Forum in Mauritius, and a statement will be made available thereafter. Namibia has appointed a Zimbabwean-born judge to hear the Fishrot bribery scandal trial because many of the local judges approached pledged conflict of interest, and the Office of the Judiciary said. Bernard Kukuri, the executive director in the Office of the Judiciary, said this in response to the public outcry after the appointment of Judge Moses Hungwe Chinengo on Monday by Judge President Petrus Damaseba. Chinengo, who was sworn in on Monday and appointed by President Hage Geingob on recommendation of the Judicial Services Commission, was an acting High Court judge in 2021. He also said that there is a misperception that Namibia only appoints Zimbabwean judges, adding that Namibia has had many South African judges in the past, as well as Zambians. Now, Fly Namibia has become the latest member of the International Air Transport Association, the homegrown airline announced. Fly Namibia said its membership would open it up to opportunities and help it offer enhanced services. The airline said that Fly Namibia's membership of IATA opens a world of opportunities for the airline, its employees, and most importantly, its valued customers. By aligning with IATA's principles and collaborating with a global network of industry leaders, Fly Namibia is poised to elevate its operations, offer enhanced services, and contribute to the growth and sustainability of air travel in Namibia. The Erongo Regional Electricity Distributor, Erongo Red, on Tuesday launched the Token Identifier Rollover Project, which will run until 24 November 2024. Erongo Red's Chief Executive Officer, Emmanuel Kananeb, tells us more.
Indeed, it is indeed a privilege and an honor for us to host the media today, to be able to address you regarding the changes in the metering environment, especially the token identifier rollover, which is scheduled to take place on the 24th of November 2024. Erongo Red has received a directive from Standard Transfer Specifications Association regarding the changes that will come into effect on 24th of November 2024, which will affect all the meters. These are the prepaid meters, not only in the Erongo Red area, but all the SDS compliant meters across the globe. As a company, we have taken immediate action to be able to embark on the process so that we could upgrade our current SDS system that we have, so that we could up to the SDS 6 standard. This is now allowing us to be able to accept tokens after the 24th of November. But we've also already started, and some of the meters have already been upgraded. So when a customer buys buys electricity, either at our offices or online or via the vendors, we normally issue the clients of 20-digit numbers. Those are the unique numbers that clients use to go and pin in, and eventually they get credits based on those numbers. And those encoded numbers have unique, what we call the token ID. Those are the token IDs that they have. So every time customer buys electricity, the meter will store the token ID in its memory. All prepaid meters have token identifier within the meter to identify every token. So if you punch in your token, there is a meter token identifier that each and every meter has. The purpose of the TID is to ensure that the same token cannot be used twice, but also primarily is to ensure that the client must receive electricity, because that's why the person buys the token, to be able to receive the electricity. So the token cannot be used twice. Now, on the same day of 24th of November, the meters will not be able to accept the tokens, because the then TID, or the token identifier, would have reached the limit of identifying the unique token numbers. So the token identifier inside the meter will not be able to read the new tokens that will issue after that date.
In our Story of the Day segment, we look at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Summit of 2023 that took place in New York on Monday and Tuesday. Stay with us.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa talked at the UN's 2023 SDGs Summit that took place on Monday and Tuesday in New York. Have a look.
Dear heads of state, heads of government, ministers, excellencies, distinguished guests, I call to order Leaders Dialogue 1 of the High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development, convened under the auspices of the General Assembly, the SDG Summit on scaling up actions and key transitions to accelerate SDG progress. I would also like to inform you that the political declaration has just been adopted by the plenary session. Achieving the SDGs by 2030 will require three key transitions across sectors, economies, and societies. This Leaders' Dialogue will concentrate on policy actions and investment pathways to drive these transitions, which will act as multipliers to advance progress across the goals, including in areas such as energy, digitalization, education, food security, and social protection.
Your Excellencies, this is a vital summit that must revive and accelerate our progress towards the fulfillment of the promises we made to the peoples of the world. The world's poorest and most vulnerable are carrying the cost of our collective inability to achieve significant success and advance on fulfilling the Sustainable Development Goals. We therefore need urgent action to reverse the devastating impact of COVID-19 as well. We need to step up our actions against climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss. At the same time, we must recognize that every country does have the right to pursue its own development pathway towards shared global objectives. National efforts to eradicate poverty require a conducive international environment. There is an urgent need to transform the global financial architecture. In the face of growing protectionism, we need to ensure a fair, rules-based, multilateral global trade system that gives developing economies equal access to world markets.
Now, in our next segment, we're going to be looking at some young, passionate men who are doing their best to help the elderly in Swakopmund. Stay with us.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Now, a group of young, enthusiastic and passionate men with the focus on giving back to the community cater to elders at the Swakopmund Velvicha Old Age Home. The group, known as the Round Table, have been working closely with the Old Age Home for the past few years. The Wilson Project aims at assisting senior citizens from the Old Age Home with fixing their teeth. Local dentist Dr. Stephen van der Merwe has contributed largely to the project and generously given his practice, time of the day and expertise. Table member Handro Duplessis tells us more.
Hi, I'm Handro from Roundtable Swakopmund 145. We are here at Dr. Stephen van der Merwe's practice today. We started the Wilson Project, which was a dream of ours to support the old people with dental care. We have supported Velvicha Old Age Home Extension 2 in the past with blankets and food, but we realized that there is a need for dental care. We started the project and we have assisted 7 of the old people already, and we would like to extend the project to do some of the other old people as well as take the project further and go to Velvicha Old Age Home Extension 1. We need the support from our community, and we thank the community for the support thus far. We have been able to raise over 100,000 Namibian dollars, and with the help of the donations received from Dr. Stephen van der Merwe, we are really appreciative, and we would like to extend the thanks to ProDent Laboratory and Darwin Marks, which supports us with better prices for the dentures, as well as Anna van der Merwe from the Ladies Circle, as well as to all our sponsors. Thank you for the community that have assisted us with their generous donations thus far, but we challenge corporates and individuals for additional donations as there are a couple of more old people out there in need of dental care. We will be hosting a mini golf day at the Paintball Centre on the 3rd of November, a corporate mini golf day, so we urge companies to enter a team. This is a fun-filled day for family and colleagues. They can do some competing against each other on a putt-putt course, and basically the funds generated at this mini golf they go to this Wilson Project as well to assist additional old people. Other projects that we support, the Roundtable supports, are the $5 project where we stand in front of Super Spa in Swakopmund and hand out $5 Namibian and ask or request the community to purchase something in the shop for us, non-perishable items that we can hand out in areas of need, like for example the Little Haven Soup Kitchen and the DRC School Project, as well as the Alzheimer's home in Swakopmund. We request the community to support us and help your fellow community members. From the Roundtable, we would like to personally and especially thank Dr. Stephen van der Merwe for assisting us with the Wilson Project. Without him, we wouldn't have been able to do this project. We thank you and we thank the community.
In economic news, we look at Standard Bank's headline earning and take a look at business news from sub-Saharan Africa. Stay with us.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Sincere apologies. Now, we did talk Standard Bank, but today we are talking big fuel price hikes, which are expected in South Africa, which is Namibia's key import market. According to the Namibia Statistics Agency, the domestic import bill stood at 11.9 billion Namibian dollars in July, of which South Africa accounted for 37.8%. Based on the current oil and rand prices, the latest data from the Central Energy Fund shows that diesel prices may be hiked by around 2 rand a litre in South Africa, depending on the grade. Petrol 95 and 93 unleaded could be increased by 1.23 rand a litre and 1.15 rand respectively. Let's head into the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 18.92 next to the US dollar, with 20.20 Namibian dollars getting you €1. Copper, gold and Brent crude oil all made downturns, whilst platinum made a 0.82% uptick. Stay with us as we talk Bulgarian farmers in international news shortly.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with the entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
Bulgarian farmers lined up hundreds of tractors on a field close to Sofia on Tuesday today ahead of protests in the capital after Bulgarian lawmakers voted to lift a ban on importing Ukrainian grain. Farmers said they were finding it hard to compete with cheap imported agricultural goods and said they wanted tighter restrictions on imported goods until local producers could get better prices. Bulgaria was one of 5 countries covered by a ban on sales of some agricultural products from Ukraine that expired on Friday, 15 September, after the European Commission decided not to extend it. Poland, Slovakia and Hungary announced their own unilateral restrictions on imports from Ukraine. Kyiv retaliated by filing complaints on Monday with the World Trade Organization. The resolution passed by the Bulgarian parliament said lifting the ban would not put the competitiveness of Bulgarian agriculture producers at risk. Stay with us as we look at the weather predictions shortly. Let's have a look at the weather predictions. Windhoek is sunny along with most of the country, but expecting a 13-degree minimum, whilst Ennana can expect some showers. It also looks sunny across this board. Henties Bay and Walvish Bay expecting 10 degrees Celsius minimums, whilst Arjamsvlei is the coldest in the country. Stay with us because shortly we'll be heading over to the sports desk with Sport Wrap.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Wrap Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Good evening and welcome to your Sunset News Sports News. Life Fighters Football Club today announced that their replicas are expected to be in Namibia in 2 weeks' time. Let's hear from Terry Uyamba.
My name is Terry Uyamba, the Commercial Director of Life Fighters Football Club, and we really have received legions of inquiries regarding our replicas for this season. We just want to inform our sympathizers, the supporters, and all the 4 clubs of Kahirona Football Club that we are expecting our consignment to arrive in the country not later than the 2nd week of October. So bear with us as we are moving along with this moving train of the Purple Project.
Also in news making headlines, the Namibian squad to play France was announced today. Ariochard has this for us from France.
Good day everyone. International sports news related to the Rugby World Cup 2023 in France, here in Marseille. That is the big game coming up on Thursday. It is Namibia facing the host France, a big task for them, made even more difficult, and that is with the inclusion of a very strong team for France for this game. And they included their captain again, that is Antoine Dupont, probably the best scrum half in world rugby at the moment, and also Jonathan Danfrey. He is the influential centre. He was injured for the first 2 games for France. He recovered from a thigh injury and is back in action in the midfield to play against Namibia on Thursday. Also, Namibia announced their team, and it is Jacques Tron that will start on the scrum half position, and also Jackie van der Westhuizen will be the hooker, and it is Johan Deysel that will remain the captain from the centre position.
And that is all we had for you from sports tonight. From me, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa, good evening.
We're going to take a short break, and when we return, it's time for your highlights.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. Let's get into the highlights from this evening's broadcast. El Nino is expected to maintain its grip on global weather patterns throughout the summer, with a 95% chance that it will dominate from January to March. Additionally, the chances of a strong El Nino occurring during the rainy season have recently increased by about 71%. Fly Namibia has become the latest member of the International Air Transport Association, the homegrown airline announced. Fly Namibia said its membership would open it up to opportunities and help it to offer enhanced services. And big fuel price hikes are expected in South Africa, which is Namibia's key import market. According to the Namibia Statistics Agency, the domestic import bill stood at 11.9 billion Namibian dollars in July, of which South Africa accounted for 37.8%. Based on the current oil and rand prices, the latest data from the Central Energy Fund shows that the diesel prices may be hiked by around 2 rand a litre in South Africa. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all NMH platforms on weekdays and Sundays, as well as on our website, oneup2.com. Sunset News also screens on DSTV 285, GoTV channel 25. My name is Ashwin Berry. This has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.